Most people think investing success comes down to what you invest in. But what if I told you that how your investments are taxed can matter just as much, sometimes even more? Today, we're going to talk about one of the most powerful financial tools available to UK investors, and surprisingly, one that many people still don't fully use. Before we go any further, let's reset something important. When most beginners start investing, they focus on returns, performance, which fund or ETF to choose. But very few people think about tax, and that's a mistake because taxes don't just take a small bite out of your returns. Over time, they can quietly erode thousands, sometimes even tens of thousands of pounds from your investment growth. This is where ISA comes in. ISAs are one of the biggest financial advantages available to UK residents, and when used correctly, they allow your money to grow completely tax-free. So, the key idea for today's lesson is this: your returns don't just depend on what you invest in. They also depend on how your investments are taxed. Let's keep this simple. An ISA, short for Individual Savings Account, is not an investment itself. An ISA is a tax wrapper created by the UK government. Its job is to protect your savings or investments from capital gains tax, dividend tax, and where applicable, income tax. When your money is inside an ISA, you keep 100% of your profits. You don't report gains to HMRC, and your withdrawals are tax-free. A helpful way to think about it is this: an ISA is like a protective bubble around your money. Whatever happens inside that bubble, growth, dividends, gains, belongs entirely to you. There are several types of ISA, but for this course, we'll focus mainly on the ones that matter most for investing. We have cash ISA. A cash ISA works much like savings account, but the interest you earn is tax-free. It can be useful for short-term savings or emergency funds. However, for long-term wealth building, cash ISA often struggle to beat inflation. So, while they're safe, they're usually not ideal for long-term investing. Number 2, stocks and shares ISA, most important for investors. This is the most powerful for long-term wealth building. Inside a stocks and shares ISA, you can invest in index funds, ETFs, shares, bonds, and here's the key benefit: all growth, dividends, and gains are completely tax-free. This is the accounts most long-term investors should understand and prioritize. Number 3 is the lifetime ISA. The lifetime ISA is designed specifically for first-time home buyers or for retirement. You can contribute up to £4,000 per year, and the government adds a 25% bonus. That means put in £4,000, get an extra £1,000 from the government. That's an instant 25% profit. However, withdrawals are restricted. You can only withdraw without penalty for buying your first house, and the house must be under £450,000. Full details about this in this video above. You can also withdraw at age 60 or over, or terminal illness. If you withdraw for any other reason, there's a 25% penalty, which actually means you lose some of your own money, not just the bonus. Number 4 is the Innovative Finance ISA. This is typically used for peer-to-peer lending. It comes with high risk, less protection, and is far less popular today. For beginners, this is usually not a priority. Junior ISA exists for under 18s, but we cover those separately in this video. Age tax year from 6th of April to 5th of April. You can invest up to 20,000 into an ISA. You can split this across different types of ISA or put it all into one. The lifetime ISA has its own £4,000 cap, but this still counts towards your 20,000 total. So a key update from 2024-2025, you can now open and contribute to multiple ISAs of the same type in the same tax year, as long as you stay within your £20,000 allowance. For couples, ISA allowance don't combine, but effectively, that's £40,000 of tax-free space per year between two people. So let's talk about ISA versus general investment account. This comparison is critical. Inside an ISA, there is no capital gains tax, no dividend tax, no tax reporting, no tax on withdrawals, no limit on how large your investment can grow. However, inside a GIA, which is the General Investment Account, you may pay capital gains tax, dividend tax, income tax where applicable. You may also need to track gains, report to HMRC, deal with shrinking tax allowances over time. So, for example, if you invest £20,000 and it grows to £60,000, inside a GIA, you could owe £7,000 to £9,000 in tax. Whereas inside an ISA, you owe £0. Same investments, very different outcome. So, be mindful of this when opening your investment account. Why are ISAs so powerful? Here's why ISAs matter so much. Compounding works faster when returns are tax-free. They simplify investing. No HMRC admin. Dividends are tax-free. Selling investments are tax-free. Withdrawals inside ISAs are tax-free. And they remain tax-free even in retirement. This makes ISAs ideal for beginners, long-term investors, and anyone who wants simplicity and efficiency. To use an ISA, you must be a UK resident, you must be 16 and above for cash ISAs, you must be 18 and above for stocks and shares ISAs. So here are the key rules to remember. £20,000 total allowance per year. Transfers do not affect your allowance. Always use official ISA transfer process. Withdrawing does not restore your allowance unless it's a flexible ISA. Some of the most common beginner mistakes include not using ISA at all, putting long-term money inside a cash ISA, exceeding the £20,000 limit across platforms, withdrawing from lifetime ISA incorrectly, thinking an ISA is an investment itself. Remember, the ISA is the container. The investment sits inside it. So let's recap. An ISA is the best tax-efficient investment account available to UK residents. The stocks and shares ISA is the most important for long-term investing. You can invest up to £20,000 per year tax-free. All gains, dividends, and withdrawals inside ISAs are tax-free. Using ISAs early can dramatically improve long-term outcomes. Your future self will thank you for understanding and using this properly. In the next lesson, we'll look at how to choose between DIY investing and managed accounts, and how to decide what's right for you. If you're following along, consider which ISA type fits your current goals and whether you're fully using your tax-free allowance. Remember, this content is for education only and does not constitute financial advice. Always do your own research or speak to a qualified professional if needed. I'll see you in the next video.